All right, so Advent of Code 2020. We're going to watch our favourite friend Jonathan Paulson. Paulson? I've said his name wrong, but whatever.
Paulson, yeah.
Yeah. So anything you want to say first, Rich, before we start?
I'm trying to remember what question this is.
It's the expense report one, if that helps.
Find the two entries that sum to 2020, then multiply those numbers together. All right, got it.
Yeah. All right, shall we see how he did it in record time?
Reckon this is going to take him half an hour?
9 minutes 18 is the video, and there was an outage, so I don't know if that affected.
Day one got messed up, didn't it? So this won't count, but let's see him do it anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe we're going to see him get annoyed. Could have already had this.
He's already got a script. He's got a script to download the input.
On these first days, it really just comes down to how quickly you can read the question, because it's so easy.
Yeah.
The thing is, you need to read it quick, but you also can't get it wrong, because then you're not going to win.
Yeah. So always got to pause.
I'm not going to lie, I'm a little surprised that he doesn't have scripts for all of this. Which I know other people do, but he's still really highly ranked, because he's, what is he now? Like 18th or something?
Yeah, 20. I think he's joint 24th as of recording.
It's good to know that the scripts are not the thing holding me back.
Yeah. He's gone for it. Okay, well, I was going to pause it there, but let's see if he gets it right.
Goodness me.
Look at that, he's impatient. This is the outage.
This is the outage. Even though that one's easy, what did he...
Yeah, I was hoping to... Maybe I should go back, actually. I was hoping that he would pause it. I'm going to go back here.
Oh, dear.
Oh! There you go. Right, we'll leave it there, because that's about right. So he's gone for... He's basically done a nested 4. So he's iterating over...
So he iterates... so he has 2 indexes. He goes every combination and every other combination.
Yeah.
And then he adds the 2 together. Do they add...
When they're not the same.
Right.
So what was that? Yeah, specifically they need you to find 2 entries that sum to 2020. Okay, fine.
And when he finds the 2 entries,
he just prints the multiplier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this is making me a worse programmer doing these. Like I'm looking at that code and I'm like, that is kind of the optimal code to do what you need to do. But if you found that code in a production code base, you would want to kill the person that had done it.
It'll double 4.
Yeah, the double 4. With an
that is that's fair enough. All right, let me skip through him having technical issues here.
Just like he's just freaking out.
I wonder if the part 2 of this day actually comes on.
Blah, 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 blah. They offer a second one if you can find 3 numbers in your experiment report that meet the same criteria.
Yeah, 3 instead entries. Of 2, it's 3 entries now.
3 entries that sum to 2020.
Yeah, and then you multiply them again. So is he just going to do a triple nested?
I think I saw a sneak peek, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do. I guess he knows at this point that the game is up.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, I know it's day 1, but it's interesting how he's editing the same file. I actually just don't like doing that. Because sometimes you can lose your solution to part 1. Okay. I achieved...
Where was he there?
37. But this day didn't count.
Yeah, they reset it, right, so...
Right.
I'm going to just mute him here. So he modifies his first answer so that you don't have them both. I always write a second one, even if it copies a bunch from the first one, just so you have the original and this. Yeah. Okay. He's doing it like this to keep track of both in the same function.
Yeah. No.
All right.
Cool. Next one.
I think we're done there.
Yeah.
So day 2 was the password one. So you've got to parse the input and it defines some password policy. And they've got and the password to the side. So yeah, so these are the rules on the left and then the password's on the right, I think, isn't it?
So yeah, the password would be A, B, C, D, E, and it must have an A at least 1 time and a max of 3 times. How many passwords are valid according to their policies? All right.
Yeah, policy per row, right?
It's amazing how much text they managed to write. I mean, I like how they do it, but it's interesting. Like you could probably do that in half the text.
I think that's part of it, though, right? Is the parsing of the question.
Yeah, and
because I think this is our second year of doing it, right? So second year I've done it anyway, and I remember thinking last year how hard it was to derive the information, and this year I feel better at it because I'm used to the way the questions are worded.
Yes, I've also noticed that this year. I think, touch wood, I've had 0 misunderstandings this year. I don't know if he's improved it. Perhaps.
Yeah, there was definitely, I remember last year there was at least one question where I just completely couldn't work out what he wanted until somebody else explained it to me. I can't remember which one it was, but there was just one that I
think they may have upped their game.
Yeah, I guess as it becomes bigger.
Yes. Should we watch
yes.
JP?
All right. So this is day 2.
Oh, God. The tension is palpable. Blimey. What? He just like...
I feel like he hasn't actually understood it yet, but maybe he has and he just hasn't said it out loud.
That was crazy. I see a lot of opportunities for him to just shave a little time off.
Has he written he's written a library there, hasn't he? That file input must be new because he didn't have that last time.
Yeah. Perhaps he realised this year other people were not messing around.
Yeah. So he's got to parse that, split that out, right? Yeah, here we go.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I mean, almost every problem does involve
the parse.
Yeah. I feel like I could do a really good job of building a library to help do this. I'm never going to be able to do a good job actually solving the problems. All right, so, okay, yeah, he's like parsing stuff.
Yeah. So at this point, I think he has the 3 things he needs. Oh no, that's everything he needs, right? Dictionary. For each...
Still parsing, I think. Okay, now he's doing the solution. So he's initializing in dictionary. Oh my god. Okay, count the character. So
hang on a sec. So what the 4CH and password thing? Oh, he's just counting the occurrences of each
letter
character that he needs. Yeah, okay, that's why it's a single dictionary, right? Because he only cares about the character that he needs to parse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then he's like, if it's in between, then add 1 to the answer.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. That's quite simple to understand, actually. Does that give the right answer? I think I can't remember. I've already forgotten the question. Yeah.
Hi. Oh yeah, he renamed it. 638. Rank 70 there. So then the second part is it changes, right? So it's now the Position 1 contains the A and position 3 does not. Well, what means
so instead of being how many occurrences, it's positions.
And it's exactly 1, I think. Exactly 1 of these positions must contain the given letter. So 1-3A means either character 1 or character 3
but
must be an A, but not both. So it's
yeah, okay,
XOR,
yeah,
I guess.
Okay. Come on, JP, what you got for us?
Okay. It did explicitly mention about zero indexing, I thought, which was interesting in this one. Because it was like, normally I think he'd expect you to work that out.
Early days still. If password... Oh, God. Okay, because low's meaning has now changed to be like index 1. So if that is the character it's looking for...
XOR or the high, is it?
XOR. Answer 2. Boom. Print answer 2. Done. Wow.
All right. That didn't take him much, did it? Oh, XOR doesn't work like that? Oh. Let's have a look.
699.
Boom. Rank 26.
Data. I know that these days are quite easy, and I don't think we struggled, but I mean, I wonder how far
it's still the speed, though, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Like, he nailed that. Where was he there? He was very quick. Anyway, but that one again. So the interesting there's number 26 there. So he kept it quite simple.
Yeah,
but I think the impressive piece for me is more. So he parses the question quickly, but I feel like I'm better at that now than I was last year. But he gets from that to the solution with almost no thinking time in between. He's almost like he's doing that. He's parallelizing the thinking and the writing, which is it doesn't really work that way for me.
Yeah, he like breaks off a couple of easy bits, which is normally the parsing. And then whilst his fingers are doing that, he's clearly like solving this. It's pretty insane.
So it says here, see on the description, he was only 90 seconds slower than the fastest person. Yeah, the fastest person was 1 minute 47.
I wonder when these competitions are won and lost, whether they're won in the first days or actually whether there's 10 pretty hard days at the end or 15 pretty hard, however many, like challenging days, and it's just won or lost there. I don't know.
I wonder on the ones we found difficult, the stat of how quickly the first person has solved it is. Because obviously, like that one, okay, he solved it in 1 minute 47, which makes sense because I don't think there's that much involved to it. But like for the later days, this minimum time you'd assume goes up to 5 minutes at least, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe these guys are just
it does. So day 3 was tobogganing down a slope and not bumping into a tree.
Oh yeah. Yes. So you start on the open square in the top left, and you've got to reach the bottom, but you've got to count the number of trees if you moved. Your movement's fixed as right 3 down 1, right?
Yeah. So how many trees do you bump into? You start
based on so this is an example here. So you've got to go along 3 down 1, track it all the way. But the thing I didn't realize initially here, I remember now, is that from the input it repeats across ways or something, doesn't it?
Yeah, so they give you a small input and it repeats.
Yeah, so this bit here, the same pattern repeats to the right many times, which confuses me.
Orbital genetics and biostability.
It's like it has to be justified. It's like, it's okay. All right.
Get your mouse over it, Jesus. There's so many things that cause anxiety for me here.
I wonder how many people are actually clicking it as the timer hits 0.
Yeah.
You know, from an infrastructure point of view, like he's annoyed that it's being slow.
Yeah.
But
must be a lot. This is at least a screen's worth of text, a bit more.
There's quite a lot here, I think. More so than the first 2.
Okay. I must say that since it's our second year, this does seem a little bit more reasonable how quickly he's reading the questions now. It's still quick, but... Row column, you think?
Yeah. G, what's G? He hasn't defined G yet. Oh, he's just printing out the input. He could just view the file, but... Oh, he wants to check that he's...
Oh, God.
So he's put each row into an array item, and so you've got an array of arrays, I suppose.
So one row. So go through the rows. Answer is 0.
Yeah. So I think he's got a 2-dimensional array now, right? So he's gonna just iterate through and do a 2-dimensional lookup, I imagine. Maybe not.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'd freak out even after every little mistake. I'd be like, I've blown it.
He's modded this as well, so he doesn't have to repeat the input. I can't remember how I did that. I don't feel like maybe I did use mod, but I was like, it's a good idea. Index out of range. Classic.
Yeah, I did mod it, I think.
Yeah. Boom.
Wow. Oh my God. What?
What? Should we go back and have a look?
That was correct.
So this is his answer, I think. So the thing, he changes something here. That was the thing he changed, because he got an index out of bounds. What is R? R is row. So he's just iterating through the rows, but he's starting at 1 rather than 0? I don't really understand how that works.
Because where do you start?
You start top left, I thought. So you start top left. So you start... I thought that I treated this as 0, 0.
Yeah, me too.
But then he's saying he's starting his iteration from whilst 1 is less than the length.
Should it have
he's
been,
immediately adding 1 to it.
Should it have been R is less than length minus 1? But instead of saying length minus 1, he said R plus 1. So he is still starting from 0. Oh, actually...
Oh yeah, because this R is still 0 here, right? But then he's never referencing the 0th line.
No, but I guess that's okay. That's a weird quirk, because the 0th line happens to contain a dot, so it's not a tree. So this solution wouldn't work if the start.
If you started on a tree.
Which is more by luck than judgment, I'm going to say. Well, listen to me slamming him with his 30-second solution. But yeah, I don't know if he's like mentally... I would imagine with the speed that he just did that he just didn't realise or think about it, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's just, that was odd.
And then he says... So then I think it's pretty... So it's the row, and then it's the...
Yeah, so it's a 2-dimensional array lookup, isn't it? So he's saying row, and then the column modded the length of each row, so it repeats
goes on
around.
And if it's a tree, add 1. Boom.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Part 2 was...
So you need to use the same algorithm, but with different inputs.
Right.
So 3-1, the second one down was what the first part was, and now they want you to do it for all these other different movements. 1-1, 5-1, 7-1, 1-2.
Right. So it's just those 5 slopes.
Yeah, and then multiply them up.
Yeah. Yeah, at the end.
So I assume he's going to put them into an array.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay.
Did he just change answer from 0 to 1 there? Why did he do that?
Difference in column, difference in row.
This is because in Python here, you can declare them in the for there, right? He's extracting the element from the list.
Yeah.
As part of the for loop. That's going to go in.
Whoop. So now his solution's gone in.
Answer has to be 1 because he's multiplying over. Okay, let's go back to that for a second.
Holy, what? Is that actually done?
I'm just going to assume it is, but let's actually watch it just in case it isn't. Yep.
My goodness me.
So that's it. So when I noticed that he changed the answer from 0 to 1, it's because he's doing multiply equal. So if it was 0, obviously it wouldn't work.
Right. Yeah.
That was the thing that I was like, why has he done that?
So he's basically taken a bunch of the variables, moved them inside this for loop. That he already had most of those variables, and then he's got 2 new variables which come from the slopes. So difference in column, difference in row. And then he, instead of adding 3 and 1, which were hard coded, those have become right.
Yeah, so this while loop here was part 1, and he's tabbed that into the for loop, which is iterating over the slopes, and then he's just tracking the answer. He's now at what was ands before is now score, and he's saying he tracks that and then multiplies it.
Yep, that's pretty nice. That's good.
I don't think we can argue with that one.
So, what did he score on that? Where did he rank?
15th. That was fast. I mean, that was an amazing optimization, I think.
So day 4 was passports. So this one would be interesting to see how he does, because this one I felt was...
Yeah, this was a difficult, for me anyway, doing it in KDB, the parsing of this was just a bit of a pain.
There's a lot of data manipulation, and the algorithm side of it's very straightforward. I think I commented this one felt like actual work at work, because it is the kind of problems that you actually end up solving in the wild. It's like, oh, there's some data and you need to validate it.
So you've got this sort of input. So this is one passport. There's some fields. The rules are it's got to have all 8 fields present. Mm-hmm. That's it for the first part. So you're just counting the key and bits, I think.
So this I would expect he could do quite fast.
And the CID you can ignore because that doesn't need to be there. So yeah, let's see how he does that.
Go. At the airport. Which passports have required fields? There's a bunch of required fields. Okay.
That was quick.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a bit more to parse there, but he's still been nailed it.
I feel like if I tried every day to do this super fast, I might be able to get onto the leaderboard once or twice. But it's impressive that these people get on it every day.
So he had this template ready to go.
Yes.
That's interesting. Where did that come from? I didn't see him.
No, I think it was like auto-generated or something.
He's just going to count if any of those appear. Has he read the question? He has, so he's ignored CID. Okay, and if valid true, add 1 to something. Yeah, okay. What's that if not line?
What? Word split.
So he gets rid of the new line at the end of each line, and then he's saying if not line. Where's field here? I don't think he's finished yet, has he? Let's let him carry on, because I don't think it. What? Whoa.
Really?
Okay. Well, he hasn't defined field, I don't think.
Okay. Thank God. I thought I was losing my mind because he just typed a bunch of random crap in. as far as I was concerned. I'm just kind of like, okay, so he seems to have the right. So he has a map of the passport and whether it's valid.
This is a dictionary, right? Oh shit! Sorry, undo that. So he had a dictionary there of the inputs, right? Oh, he's gone for the.
Okay.
He's gone for the classic.
He's human.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even bother not doing this. What he's done here that I think is quite clever is he's identified that this problem is probably going to be a little bit tricky to debug, and he's immediately printing out stuff that's helpful.
You like internal state of his algorithm, right? Yeah.
And he's gone straight for that. Whereas, I guess he's also gone for an incorrect answer, to be fair.
So just looking at the current state here. So the thing that it's not clear to me at the moment, and I know it's not the right answer yet, is how he's... Because the one passport can be over multiple lines, right?
I guess not. I guess, so valid, true. If it's not in there, then it becomes false. Then he prints it. If it's valid, he adds the answer.
I think the empty line is this if statement, right? So he stripped out the new line. So if line is empty, that's the end of the passport. That's when he does the validation. Otherwise, he's parsing the information and putting it into that passport.
Goodness, that is backwards, isn't it?
Yeah, but then I still don't. The fourth, he still hasn't extracted field as far as I can tell here, and I don't know if this is just Python saying, because he hasn't defined it, it's just empty, which is why it's not working.
Maybe he's just got the whole password. The whole passport. Now he has split passport. So you want to read the else statement first. So he takes the words, splits them.
Oh yeah, I'm misreading his for loop. Sorry, that's my fault as well. Yeah.
So I don't know why this is wrong.
So if it's empty, then he goes, oh, for each of these fields, if it's not in the passport, then it's false. Otherwise, it's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seems right. It'd be interesting to see what was wrong. Must be close. Or maybe it is right now.
What is he? Oh, he didn't count the last one? What did he change? Did he change anything in that algorithm?
Don't think he did.
Did he just not have a new line?
There's just an off by one bug.
Yeah. Did he put 241 the first time?
Yeah, what did he enter?
Oh yeah, he had 241 and he ended up entering 242. Okay. Yeah. So we went from 241 to 242.
So part 2 of this is pretty involved as we look through the infinite OBS window of doom. Now there's a bunch of rules for each field, basically. So the numbers have to be in between two things and they have to have 4 digits. There's a different rule for heights in centimetres and inches.
Yeah.
Hair colours are basically hex. Eye colours are a list of predefined values. Passport is a 9-digit number, including leading zeros, and CID doesn't matter. So yeah,
I did not twig that hair color was a hex color code.
Oh, did you not?
No, I just parsed it literally as it said. I didn't even think about it.
So did I, but I guess it's there's too much CSS, is what that is.
Yeah. So I ignored all of the values in the first one, so I had to basically write this again to parse out the values and stuff. But he's already got key values in his first answer, so I assume he's going to build some rules.
I can't see how he's going to do this fast. I'd be blown away.
There's a lot of parsing.
Yeah. The problem with this question is it's one of the types of questions that the AOC people do where it's not necessarily that hard algorithmically, but if you have a small bug, it could be very hard to find it.
Yeah.
So, and in speed running this stuff, that is a massive risk. He basically needs to get this quite right first time, if not entirely right. Otherwise, he could be hunting one.
So those integer ones are pretty easy. Expiration is fine as well. So he's just rinse and repeating here.
I checked they were 4 digits long, but I guess
Yeah, he's casting it to int, right? So I suppose that does that for me.
Yeah, I guess it can't be. I guess you don't need to check it.
So height now. He's got to check.
It's good how he's pasted the question, the important part of the question, stopping him from.
Height.
So height.
That if statement isn't valid yet, is it? If in passport?
No.
Is that just find all integers, is it? That
I think this is, yeah. Yeah. What I would actually really like to know, whilst we watch him destroy this, it is taking him longer than the others, but I do think he's doing it more or less as quickly as you possibly could. But I was going to say, I wonder what his code is like in production.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because if it's this, his colleagues probably want to kill him. But it may be he switches modes and he optimizes differently, and he's just really bright.
So I think he's made an error there, right? So he's put HHT, but he means HGT in the if statement above. So is that gonna?
That is an error.
So let's see how quickly he notices that. He's doing everything as negations, right? He's like, if it's not in, then it's false.
Yeah.
Oh, that's some Python shorthand there.
Okay, that's interesting. So if the character's not in those characters. What's interesting there is, like, they could easily have, like, one uppercase letter somewhere in the hex. Like I think I lowercased it because I was just like, they might try and screw me over here. And they don't try and screw you over.
No, it did say A to F, but yeah, I know what you mean. It wouldn't have surprised me if it was in there, put it that way.
That was quick. Yeah, okay.
A 9-digit. So this one you do have to validate the length, right? Because it's 9-digit including leading zeros, which parsing it wouldn't give you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the mistake that you think he made, which I agree, I think he made, is quite far back now.
Yeah, it's just the height the height ID. I think
this is the way he's written. This is totally not debuggable at the moment.
Has he noticed? He hasn't noticed.
Went right back by it.
Parentheses is never closed.
Okay.
He's got 2 square brackets. Yeah.
It's interesting how low tech all of this is. No, like linters or anything like that to help spot errors in advance, and it could also get in the way, I guess.
Okay.
There's a lot of tab widths as well. His funeral.
Oh, okay. So he's like, why is it 0? Has he seen it yet?
All that means is that something's wrong.
Yeah. Oh, now he's checked the length. But I'm not sure you need to do that.
No.
I think he's not, because he hasn't noticed the issue. I think he's thinking this is wrong, but...
Yeah. Really what he's missing here is observability until which part of quite a complicated validation is wrong.
Yeah.
Thing is, that's hard. It's a hard enough problem if you don't care about speed, but it's really difficult. Yeah, and the problem is, it's completely like, yeah, okay. Is he getting the output?
No, so they're all coming up false because none of them ever have
HHT instead of HGT.
Yeah, although he's assuming true and he's only setting it to false if it fails. So maybe it should be giving him too many positives, I think, because it wouldn't be validating passport ever. It wouldn't be validating height ever.
Yeah, which is what's happening is getting false. What's he going to do here? He has to make it observable, surely. Okay,
so he's putting print of valid every time.
Oh, he just put it everywhere.
I mean, that's going to be really hard to read because you don't really know where you are.
Might be enough.
Yeah. Oh, okay, but he's printed out the thing as well.
Okay, that's... I don't think he has.
There it is.
Boom.
So his HGT one's now right.
Yeah, it's worth a pop punting this in if... Because it's going to take him at least 30 seconds or whatever it is to...
So his parsing isn't quite right there.
Okay.
There are some examples, I think, that don't have anything at the end. Yeah, that's what's caught him out. That caught me out as well. There are some inputs that don't have centimetre or inch, so he's taking 2 off, but it might not even be there.
Oh. I didn't... Well, I guess the way I did it's different.
Yeah. I think I changed it just to be more flexible, but the first time I think I got caught out by that.
It's interesting as well. He's not really used many regexes. He used a little bit.
Yeah, I've not used regexes at all, basically, in any of mine. 186. So he's just put that into a try catch because he couldn't be bothered to work it out. There it is. He still was 73rd though, and he struggled. It's interesting, right?
Yeah, that is pretty interesting.
So he struggled with it, but still was pretty quick. So I thought the bit that was interesting there was that he was like, there's obviously some cases where the input isn't valid, so he's just going to put all of this into a try-catch and just assume that if it fails, it's false, which I think is...
Well, that's quite good. Yeah, that's a neat solution.
Yeah, so because it was this parsing of the with 2 dropped off the end was failing, because it might... there's an example, his example he crashed on, it was just 98 and had no suffix.
Right. So that is invalid.
Yeah. Yeah, because it doesn't have centimetres or IN at the end. But
he's done.
Yeah,
how
it's interesting.
Did that take him? Not that
long. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I would say max 5 minutes.
Still a good effort.
We're at 12 minutes here. I think. Yeah, maybe 7 or 8 minutes. The whole video is only 20, and he's spending the rest of the time talking about it. So, still pretty fast. Anything else on that one? You're right though. The parsing on that one was. Yeah. It's just the number of rules, right?
Yeah, so it's pretty brutal.
Let's have a look at number 5 here.
So 5 was zones on the plane. So
yeah, partitioning.
Yeah, it's partitioning. So what do they call it? Binary space
partitioning.
That's the one.
I don't know if that's just made up, but
so
it's just a binary search.
So you've got F's and B's. And the front means it's in the... F means it's in the lower half, and B means it's in the upper half. And then, you're basically dividing your search space by 2 each time.
And then... So that's the first 7 characters, and the last 3 is doing the same, but within the row.
Oh, yes, and then you do the same again with the last 3.
Yeah, so you do 7 that, and then that. And then you do... Row times 8 plus column gives you the C tidy.
How many rows are there? 7. Columns, sorry. So there 0 to 7 in columns is the answer, and 0 to 127 is the answer for the row.
Yeah, so and then it's row times 8 plus column.
The 8's a bit random.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Let's have a look here.
This one I could see, you're not going to need many characters to do this if you're good, compared to the last one.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot less to type about here. I sort of feel like I need it. Oh, this is a thing. Like if there's 1,000 people querying it at the same time.
Here he goes.
It would be worthwhile at some point having a look at our solutions, because I think it's still very interesting to see the difference in solutions as well, even though it took us however long, much longer
An
than this
eternity.
guy. Yeah.
Oh wow, it's struggling a bit today. It took 3 seconds to download a tiny file.
So it's interesting. It's not clear to me where he's getting this template from, but he's obviously.
Yeah, I think he runs a script and it like does it. I don't know. It could be quite clever. It could be like looking at the input and figuring out.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I think I can't hear him. I don't know if he's on mute or it's just my.
I can't hear
my
him.
side. No, he's not saying anything. Ooh, what is that? Divide equals 2. All right, divide by 2.
So, row RP is, yeah, okay. I did not solve it like this actually. So RP is like the
row pointer, is it,
like
or something?
Yeah, like the midpoint. CP is.
So he's starting at 64. Yeah, and then he's just dividing by 2 each time.
Reading the question backwards and forwards a little bit more.
Is that it?
I feel like he hasn't done F, but I don't know.
He hasn't got an else statement, has he?
Because he doesn't need one.
We're gonna have to look back on that if that's right.
Yeah, he has done this quick. Was that correct? It was correct. What the absolute...
Hang on, let me go back here just a little bit. So what the hell has gone on here? So he's got row and col 0, 0, and I'm assuming P is the pointer, so he's starting in the middle of each.
Yeah.
So middle of the row is 64, right? Because it's 128 long.
Yeah.
Middle of column is 4. And he's saying for each line, yeah. So and then for each character in each line, if it's a B, which means go back, add RP to row, and then divide RP by 2 regardless. Oh, I see. So he's...
Yeah.
So, yeah, because if you go back, it means it's at least at row 64 or bigger as the starting point, and then whether you add or take away depends whether it's then forward or back in the next section.
Yeah.
The next. That's really interesting way of doing it.
Yes, and what's really weird about this solution is it's one for loop for both.
Yeah, because
backwards and forwards and left and right.
He's assumed that, because they're using different letters for different. They used F and B and then R and L, so he doesn't need to validate. But I think I took the first 7 characters and then took the last 3 characters and applied them separately.
So what's weird is RP dividing itself by 2. That's going to happen for the R's and L's as well, but it just doesn't matter because he's already got the answer for the row.
Yes, just because it's always front and back first, and then then left and right.
Man, I mean, the thing that's so hard about these challenges for me is that like that nuance is like a bug waiting to happen. So if you did this in real life, that is just a terrible idea. Like it works and it's like completely sound, but like RP dividing it's like /= 0, / 2, like that's happening, and it just happens to be okay that it's happening. Whereas like
you shouldn't be doing it yeah, I agree.
But it's also quite clever because it's basically allowed him to use one for loop and just smash it out, and he can just hold that in his brain for a split.
But it wouldn't. I mean, it wouldn't have. It wouldn't. Based on the other solutions he's done, though, it wouldn't have been that much more to split it out, because he could have used that syntax, that Python syntax, to say, give me the first 7 characters of line, and then in a separate for loop, give me the last 3 characters of line.
Yeah,
right?
it's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't really think about this in terms of numbers. I thought about it in terms of an array of the seats and then splitting it up. But having looked at other solutions, and then this one as well, it's clear that you could have just dealt with the biggest, the original number and divided it. But again, that just wasn't how my brain thought about the problem.
So part 2, I'm just reading now whilst we watch Jonathan go through Glory again.
You've got to find your seat.
That's correct, yeah.
And your seat will be wherever there's a gap. It won't be at the very front and won't be at the very back. There'll be a gap of seat ID somewhere, and yours is in the middle. So I think you've got to work out... You've just got to calculate all the seat IDs and then find a gap. I think if I remember, that's how I did it.
That's it. Be interesting to see how he does this.
I think he has everything already, right? Like, he's just going to append them to a list. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if there's so in KDB there's a deltas, basically, which just gives you the difference between every element in a list.
Yeah, like a sort of lag diff or something.
Yeah, it's just the difference between each element. So he's going to... Oh, there it is it? 806, is he going to... No. What has he done there?
Did he didn't get it right, did he? No, yeah.
No, he didn't.
Thank God.
So originally he was just saying for iterating over the list of IDs, if the one... Oh, ID plus 1 is not in there.
Yeah.
But it needs to be both ways, I think. Yeah, he's got to sort them. It did say that it wasn't on the front or the back row. I think that might be what's catching him out here.
It said... Yes, it does say that.
So I think you've got to exclude the front and back row, and then I think it's 80. I imagine it's 806, is it? But maybe that's not right either.
He's not doing this as quickly as I'd have expected him to. I mean, I would not have been able to do it this fast, but...
Oh, he's just unmuted himself for the difficult bit. Five, 6, 2. Whoa! So what did he nested the Python stuff wrong there, the function, but I don't understand how that helped him.
No, that was weird. And I didn't quite understand what he changed.
So he untabbed all of seat ID down to print. It was tabbed in by 1.
Right.
So it was inside this for loop.
Only happening. Right. Okay, but he'd actually coded it right.
But how did that work for the first one? Because
it calculates the seat ID every time, and it ends up being the right number, I guess.
Oh, because before he didn't... So he was adding them... He was trying to add them to the list, but he was adding them every character rather than after it's all been calculated.
Yes.
That's what's wrong. Yeah.
And then what's the max P1 seat ID?
Yeah, what is that bit?
P1...
Oh, part 1, he's just working out then the max of everything in the ID list to give him the first answer.
So part 2, he just adds it to the IDs, and then he sorts them. For each of those IDs, if the next ID is not in IDs, then that's the one printed. Then
yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. Wait, how did he score?
Let's have a look. 47th.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Oh, right, fair enough. I mean, that's the first 5 days. I think I might stop there for a bit, to be honest. It's nice going over those ones again, though, because I'm like, oh yeah, they weren't too bad.
Yeah, Jay, have you seen? I've seen people solve them in different languages, and one of the languages people solve them in is Notepad. So they just write stuff out and then just figure out the answer. So they're the computer. I think with that second part of that, you maybe could have done it. You could have just looked and found the one that was missing.
Oh, I see. They actually just do it by art.
Yes, they just do it by hand, but in Notepad or something.
That one where there's a trillion solutions, though, is gonna.
Yeah, I think maybe they run out of steam on some of the days. Turns out computers are pretty good at this stuff.
Yeah.